Morning everyone, welcome to All Four Queens. Just adding to the one that I did the other day in reference to abuse of power and position. That was part one of what I went through. There's other elements of the things that I went through as well. So I just want to give more details in respect of some of the other things that I've gone through. But I'm hoping everyone's doing well on this Saturday morning and that you're enjoying the day. It's my birthday today, so happy birthday to me. Just so that people are clear, spiritual warfare is, when you come across this channel, it's about spiritual. As above, so below, happens in the spiritual realm before it manifests down here. Now, obviously, they don't want you to know that, but it does. And with my situation, a lot of things have happened in the spiritual realm and now it's starting to manifest down here, hence the stalker alert. I've got somebody that's actually sits, has bought a house at the back of me and it just sits and watches me. And I'm assuming that, those who are righteous in authority know, and, whilst you're watching me, they're watching you. So you do know that. And obviously, what they've tried to do to my stability and things like that. I mean, what I don't understand is why we work hard, we have what we have, and we do it the right way, and people come along and try and take it away because they don't do it the right way. So they don't want people to be perceived who do it the right way as positive, as the positive way to live. So, just putting that out there. Anyway. The other things that I've been through, and from what I've said previously, is the directed energy weapon, and I posted that on the bottom, and I want to share part of my complaint with you, and then I'll share the response as well. Mind control. Now, mind control can be a lot of things. Can be manipulation of emotions, it can be deception, and it can be the denial and gaslighting, and then trying to isolate. So they try and play with someone's mind. Now, hence, how do you combat that? I mean, meditation and being, being strong within yourself, but also the healing aspect as well. So obviously that's a separate session, but obviously that is so important, because if people feel they can control you emotionally, then they try and induce fear on you and things like that. Hence what they're trying to do with me and the stability and all that sort of stuff. But all they're doing is manifesting me something new. So, it is what it is. I can't change it, so I'm not even going to stress about it. The other thing as well, what you'll notice, and some of you may not be aware of it and some may not be aware of it, when these cults and covens and secret societies get involved, they tend to use the same pattern, and some of the patterns that they use is the old tactics, and MK Ultra is one of them. Now, what they probably don't realise is I've been on, my soul's travelled this journey so many times. I think I'm over 17,000 years old, my soul. So in terms of some of the challenges, I already know. Do you know what I mean? I already know what you're going to do before you do it. And I probably do know your fate as well. But obviously 2024 is change. God's will is what God wants, and your battle's not with me. We talk spirit, your battle's not with me, your battle is light and dark. I'm just the conduit that you want to come for, because we're now being manifested into the 3D. So that's some of the things. The other thing, I've been subjected to fake police, putting stuff in my house. I've watched people take my hair out of my hairbrush, and I've watched people put cameras in my house, and I've, for voyeurism, and there is an element of, you could say, trafficking there, because whilst sex trafficking is wide, people put stuff in your house and record you, and how do these people find you? Be mindful of who you meet and who they're actually associated with. And the challenge in this world is that they don't come with a CV, and they don't come with a check. These people are out there, and they do things very, 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 very spiritually wicked. So just be very mindful. Fake doctors, I've had fake doctors, and take, some of the things that I've been exposed to, you wouldn't believe, some of the examinations that were just brutal and taking blood. I've had people trespassing my house, and I woke up to a bottle of water by the radiator and the room was so hot, and when I looked at my body I'd got bruises all over me, and I'd got a mark where someone had extracted blood. So you've got to ask yourself, who is controlling this? Is it the leaders? Is it the people that obviously have a lot of resources on the dark side, or is it both? When I've reached out, you know, the response has been quite interesting. So hence why I say it's so important to have faith when it comes to spiritual warfare, because where the physical, not all, and I'm going to make that point, not all in the physical don't support you, the spiritual realm does, and your faith is so important, and staying, you know, in that world. And why do I say that? A lot of people laugh and go, oh yeah, but I don't believe in God. Excuse me, I can't itch your nose. I don't believe in God. No, that's fine, you don't, and you don't have to. But as I said in the previous one, I know from my journey that without the spiritual realm and God, or whoever, whatever name you resonate with, of the light, obviously, I wouldn't be here today, because people have come for me my whole life, but doing the witchcraft and the darkness behind the scenes, so that people would say, oh, you know, it was terrible how she passed away. Because unfortunately there are those in the spiritual realm that are not awake, and they're not awake to see what some people are doing, and yet there are those in very senior positions who do know what people are doing and probably condone it. And why? Power, money, fame, fortune. You know, you only have to look at what's going on in Hollywood. Everything's crumbling. So, you know, that's what I'm saying. So those are some of the things that I've been exposed to. I also have people doing root work with witchcraft and sacral chakra, trying to, you know, draw my energy. I know, because you don't have your own energy, and you're trying to harvest everybody else's. But so do the spiritual realm. And the other thing as well is, I also want you to be aware that some of your ancestors are now working with me, because they're absolutely disgusted at your behaviour. But I know you don't care, because you've probably got that many entities. You don't care, but they are. So in terms of the lesson, some of the things that they try and do is about control, manipulation, destiny swapping, cloning, you know, all the things. So what I'm going to do though, because a lot of this is and psychic attacks. Now, what people don't know about me is I've been psychically attacked since I was a child. I've been in training for this. So you've come for somebody that has been abused all their life, physically and spiritually. And so I see you, I hear you, I see you. And once you're spiritually awakened, you can't go back to sleep again. But I've been awake for years. People just didn't know I was. Because that's the beauty of silence. So just be mindful what you're doing. And now you've got a lot of stuff you need to sort out. And I definitely would say that you need to recant. You definitely need to start recanting. And I know some of you are, because I'm hearing crying and I'm feeling the emotions of crying. So what I want to just read for you now is this bit here that I wrote out. And I want you to laugh at the response. Right, so the energy weapon, I did a police report, obviously, and, you know, blah, blah. Police turned up on the Saturday, didn't do anything. And then on the Sunday, which is what I reposted, I think about 8 months ago. On Sunday, the 14th of January 2024 at 18:35, another police officer arrived, again unannounced, banging on my door, stating he had a psychiatric nurse with him. I felt this was extreme, especially when the police officer made no reference to the reported crime or my well-being. He was only focused on my mental health. I feel the officer behaved inappropriately, lacked discretion and had no concern for data protection. He was standing in my street talking very loudly on the telephone, making assumptions about my mental state, my medical status for all to hear, my mental health being the main topic. I do not feel the police officer acted with self-control or tolerance towards me. I felt ambushed in the way the police abused their power of authority to make a judgment by coming to my home. I do not feel I was treated with any dignity, respect or courtesy. That said, I took the behaviour as confirmation that my experience and truth was validated. The response made me attend the hospital the following day to obtain bloods to ensure my physical well-being was okay because of the symptoms I was feeling and the exposure to the DEW weapon. I researched the weapon and I'm aware that this can cause internal damage, including DNA. I question when we entered the realm of doorstep diagnosis, in particular mental health over policing and actual crimes being reported. Now, that's what I sent, and there's a lot more to it, and I will do it on my separate channel. But this is the response, and I won't read all of it. I'll just read part of it. A complaint that is about the off-duty behaviour of a person serving with the police, which has no relevance to the role as a person serving with the police, and even if proved would not discredit the police service or undermine public confidence in it. If the complaint is fanciful, this means that it is potentially of nature that no reasonable person could lend any credence to it. Oh, sorry about that. It is important to consider the complaint itself rather than the alleged incident giving rise to the complaint. So, basically, what they were saying, which I thought was quite fanciful, they were trying to say that the complaint was fanciful and that they can't be responsible for somebody coming off duty. For me, as with any position of power, even when you're a manager, you're still on duty. If you're around your team, you're still on duty and you still have a duty of care. So for me, the question was, well, why was an off-duty police officer coming to my home about psychiatric help when I never asked for him to come? And my other question was, why was I the top priority of mental health when there were so many people in the UK and around the world desperate to get some assessment, and there's never any money for them, yet everybody else has been knocking on my door left, right and centre. So I think you can see the picture there that, you know, there are those that are also involved in the groups, that they have to follow a certain pattern, and then they have to do what, you know, they've been initiated to do. So that again is why I say faith is so important. Now, the other part to that is God is all knowing, and we all know that God created the devil anyway. And you know, people who want to dance in that energy, that's absolutely fine, you know. But you've got to remember that He's still responsible to God. So whichever way you look at it. So someone said to me the other day, well, you know, I don't believe in God because, you know, it is what it is. Right. So, and I will do another section on it because I've got another section to do, and I might do it just before. Hi everybody. When I was doing the recording in relation to what I went through, part 2, it cut off. So I just wanted to just clarify the bits, and then when I say about God, we'll come back to it. So the other things that I went through was like a false investigation, surveillance. I've had people following me in cars. Obviously, you know about fraud. I've had people trespassing in my house, and I was sleeping and someone came into my house. And when I woke up, I said that I got bruises and I'd got a mark in my arm, whether that was somebody had extracted blood or whether that was somebody had injected something. Who knows? I mean, they reckon on the blood test it was fine, but was it? You know, we rely on these people to tell us the truth, but was it? And you know, the fact that I was accosted at the hospital suggests that they're all part of the same thing. I've had helicopters over my house. I've had military over my house. But my question around the directed energy weapon is, who authorises that? Because obviously that's some sort of military equipment. So who authorises it and who pays for it? Because, and who decides who's going to be the experimental? Because I'm assuming that this is some experiment program that those of the high know about. And the reason why I say that is because I've got responses that suggest that it is known. So yeah, just putting it out there. So before I get on to the guard, I just wanted to just sort of talk about the human rights. Article 8 protects your rights to respect for private life, your family life, your home, your correspondence, letters, telephone calls, emails, and the list goes on. So I've also had people claiming benefits, state benefit in my name, because obviously I've had to report that. I've had people buying white goods in my name, so I've had to report that. The interesting part though, it's not just in my name, it was in my old double-barreled married name, so I think that sort of suggests a lot, doesn't it? So going back to God, and people don't believe in God, and no, I'm not here to tell you to believe in God. I think for me the biggest thing is having choice and understanding why you don't believe in one but you do believe in the other. And when I say the other, we live in the devil's illusion every day, the greed, the materialism, the pride, the ego, hurting people, suffering pain. That is his illusion, and that's what he wants people to live in. Now, when you look at God, God's not asking you to hurt people. God's asking you to love and be of service to others, and just to believe in his word and spread his truth. So for me, I'm just going to read you John 2:15-17 from the King James Version. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, and the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. So we know at the moment that, and I'm going to say it, sex seems to be part of spiritual warfare as well. People will use sex for anything, but for me, sex is sacred. And you can throw it around left, right, and centre, but it's linked to your chakra, and obviously one of them is your abundance. So if you keep giving all your sexual energy out to everyone, then what you've got left for yourself, you deplete yourself, and also your finances. So it is all linked. I know it sounds a bit woo-woo, but it is all linked. So let's define the world. So defining the world, man-centred, manufactured, illusion system constructed to keep us bound and trapped to a way of living. One could also say enticed by the devil's illusion of materialism, greed, envy, jealousy, money, addictions, hate, chaos and conflict, and creating all and division, creating all the things that actually go against the oneness of who we really are in terms of who we are as a spirit. We are just a vessel on the outside, but inside we're all spirit. And it's like when you go on to that side. So for me, I'm not saying don't believe in the devil. You do what you want to do. All I'm saying is balance both. There's light and dark. And when you say, oh, I don't believe in God, but you live in the devil's playground every day, then understand God to be able to say why you don't believe in him and why you do believe in the devil, and you want the suffering and you want the pain and you want the greed and the envy and everything else that comes with it. Because for me, we're all oneness, and we should all be able to live in harmony as one, and that includes dark and light, because the whole point of awakening is you balancing both feminine and masculine energy, but also your dark and your light, and you do your shadow work. And your shadow work is all the things that we've been programmed to believe, conditioning, the programming, the fear, the shame, the guilt, all that. We go through the shadow work, and we release it and we heal it. And then you don't want to dance in the devil's camp. You don't want to be stuck in addictions, because you realise that your body is a temple, and therefore that's just an illusion to keep you stuck. Just saying. So that is obviously the other part of what I've gone through. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff that I've gone through that you wouldn't believe, and somebody obviously has a lot of money and a lot of influence to be able to do this. But obviously, like I say, faith is so important. When you've got your faith and you stand, like I said, Psalms 91, you stand with God. You know, you are protected spiritually. Touch not my anointed, do my prophets no harm. You know, Psalms. So just wanted to give that out there. You know, you do what you want. I'm just giving you the message that, you know, you can't say you don't like one when you don't know one, but you live in one every day, and it's about getting balance. That's all. So I'm going to sign off. Going to love yous and leave yous, and have a fantastic day. And I'll speak to you soon. See you later. Bye. Oh, I've got the mouse again, haven't I? Oh, like, subscribe, share. Thank you.